All right. Hey, how's it going, guys? How is everyone doing? Audio, visual check. Let me know if everything is all okay. Thank you all for tuning in. We've got 300 viewers waiting for this live stream today. Thank you all so much for your patience. If you already know you're going to enjoy this live stream, then smash up those likes. If you already know that this is going to be some of the most realistic analysis you're going to get on the market today, smash up those likes. Ethereum has set new all-time highs. Wasn't hugely surprising considering how Ethereum had basically no resistance above 2100. This was one of the key talking points we were outlining on the channel, where I said if Ethereum can breach 2300, it'll probably go to 24. If it can breach 24, it'll probably go to 25, and from there we're looking at all-time highs, and that's exactly what Ethereum has done today. I'm very, very happy with its performance. One of the key reasons I'm happy with Ethereum's performance right here is because, all good, thank you very much, is because this is a representation, ladies and gents, of the optimism in the market. There are a few key things I want to talk about because it might actually be a bad thing, but this is a representation of optimism in the market, because if the market was not optimistic in crypto overall, people would not be putting their money in Ethereum, which is generally perceived to be riskier than Bitcoin. So the fact that Ethereum has rallied this hard does tell us that people, generally speaking, in this market are not super scared of what's going on. I was talking to a VIP member earlier today. Shout out to you. You know exactly who I'm talking about if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you are. And we were talking about the possibilities of this potentially going south and so on. And, one of the key ideas that we spoke about was this dump right here. Who sold in this dump? Was it retail panicking? Was it longs being liquidated? Obviously, I think it was a mixture of both, but it's definitely true with, I think it was billions of dollars of longs, maybe over $1 billion worth of longs that were liquidated on this big move here. That tells us a lot about who was selling here, which is essentially people who are in over-leveraged positions going long. For those of you who don't know, the way you close an active long position is by selling. Right? If you've got Bitcoin and you've opened a Bitcoin position, the only way you can close that Bitcoin position is by selling it. And selling it creates selling pressure. And when that happens all at once, you get really, really big crashes, like the one that we saw right here, which we predicted on this channel to an absolute T, dropping down by $10,000. We said it, and it was pretty much the next day that it happened. I told you I didn't expect it to happen that quickly, but still moved very much in line with the prediction there, which was absolutely great. And that happens with selling pressure, but if it was selling pressure caused by longs being liquidated, then that also tells us that it wasn't necessarily retail panicking. It wasn't necessarily retail that panicked. And that means, normal people like you and I, people like us didn't really panic in this market. This was just longs being closed. And so that tells us a little bit about this trend. And what I want to do now, coming off the back of the previous video, which you've all watched, I'm sure, is talk to you about the possibilities of Bitcoin potentially returning to something a little bit more bullish. We're not showing great signs for that at the moment. We're still in a falling wedge, which is typically a continuation pattern for Bitcoin if we're in a downtrend. But what we did get today is a pretty perfect double bottom, which I'm very, very happy with. What we did get today is a pretty amazing rally to new all-time highs on Ethereum. This kind of stuff, a rally to an all-time high on Ethereum, a beautiful, picture-perfect double bottom that's happened days apart. This kind of stuff, it doesn't happen in a pessimistic market. It doesn't happen in a market that still feels fearful, that's ready to drop down another $10,000. It generally doesn't happen. Obviously, anything is still possible, but these are things that you typically would not see in a market that I think looks as healthy as what we're in right now. So I want to clear out my position a little bit because I think there's been a little bit of confusion. Yesterday, ladies and gents, I was talking to you a lot about how I was expecting a dump lower. I was saying this while Bitcoin was here. The idiots thought I was wrong when Bitcoin was here, which will never get old. And then we did end up dumping and we fell out of this pattern. Now, on this chart, we didn't actually fall very low. But on the Coinbase chart, which is the main one that I conduct my analysis on, we set a perfect double bottom, which is exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for the price to fall into this blue box. We did. My bearish bias has been fulfilled. We've done what I wanted. Ideally, we would have dropped lower. It would have meant a bigger correction. It would have meant a little bit more blood and fear and anxiety in the market, but we don't need to. The thing is, Bitcoin responded in the best possible way to this support area. right? There's a few ways Bitcoin could have responded to the support area if we're falling down to it. Number one, we could just fall straight through it. That's what happened at 58K right here. We just fell right through the resistance area. That's possible. Actually, 58K was around over here where we fell through it. We could just fall straight through it like this. Number two, we can fall into it, trade sideways, then bounce up. We can fall into it, trade sideways, then go down. Or we can massively correct upwards. We can fall down here and within practically the same minute, we're already trading back up. And we did the final one right there. And I'll ask you, which pattern shows more strength for the market? Falling straight through, falling in, consolidating, and then falling in, consolidating, and then rising, or an instant V-shaped recovery? Which one shows you the most bullish energy in the market? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Very, very simple exercise. This is where technical analysis really does, in a lot of cases, rely on common sense and analyzing psychology, because this is just analysis of psychology. If we're moving quickly, there's a lot of fear. If we're consolidating and then crashing down, it means people are unsure, but there's fear. If we're moving down, consolidating, it means there's a lot of anxiety, but then we rise up. It means that anxiety has been tended to. This is fine. This is better than nothing. This is better than falling through. But the only thing that represents confidence in the market and optimism in the market is a big V-shaped correction like that. I'm sure you guys got this. Drop it in the comments if you already predicted that. Yeah, many of you guys already predicting it right there, that it is number 4, which is the most confident of the bounce patterns. We don't want to consolidate at support. We want to touch them really quick, and we want the bulls to very quickly step in. We want very clear displays of I'm just reading your comments about Biden increasing tax rates in the US. It's literally a joke. Now living in the United Arab Emirates, just thinking of tax sounds hilarious to me. But the only thing that really displays a lot of confidence, that shows us, first of all, that bulls are strong, and second of all, that bears are weak, is a strong V-shaped correction. So again, we don't get these things in a market that's weak. In a market that's weak, we're going to be doing one of the first 2 or even 3 things right there. And I think that's very important to keep in mind, because as analysts, we like to overcomplicate things if we don't conduct analysis very well and different things like that. And it's not necessary. Analysis is quite simple. Mine was quite simple earlier today. It still absolutely means we can fall down here. And actually, if we do fall down to this level relatively soon, it's going to be pretty bad in my opinion. I do not want Bitcoin to come back down to this level anytime soon. If we come down to this level at any point, let's say in the next week, I'm going to be pretty concerned, right? Definitely if we come back down to this blue box, by the way, for those of you who can't tell, this blue box hovers between $52,000 and $50,000. If we fall anywhere in this range over the next week or so, I'm going to be very worried, because that means we're testing this support too much. And these support levels, they don't last forever. The more you test them, the weaker they get, I'm sorry. This has already been tested twice. I don't know how many more tests it's got until it's going to crumble and we are actually going to crash down. So this is a big caveat to my analysis. I'm taking a very hopeful, optimistic approach right now until and unless Bitcoin comes back down to this level anytime soon. The reason for that is that there's still a lot of resistance up ahead. There's still a lot of resistance up ahead. Take a look at the Ichimoku cloud right here. Bitcoin had a clear chance to break it, where the Ichimoku cloud is a little bit thinner. Those of you who have watched my tutorial on the Ichimoku cloud, which you can find by typing this into YouTube right here, if you watch my tutorial, you'll know exactly how the Ichimoku cloud works, and I'll leave this on screen for you, so you can just open a new tab and watch this video and then come right back to the live stream. But this Ichimoku cloud is essentially showing us that when it's thinner, whatever it's showing us, which in this case is resistance because it's red, whatever it's showing us is weaker when it's thinner, and it's stronger when it's thicker. And so there is still a lot of resistance up ahead for Bitcoin. It didn't manage to break out on this opportunity, this window of opportunity right here. It didn't manage to break out. It did get caught a little bit earlier. And there's still a lot of resistance from momentum, not only on the 1 hour time frame, but more importantly, in my opinion, on the 4 hour time frame. There's still a fair bit of resistance. We take a look at the 1 day time frame. We are now conclusively trading and closing below the EMA ribbon on the 1 day time frame. And this is the first time we've ever done that since October of 2020. So we have broken something that's held for 6 months. We've broken it yesterday. Very, very important to keep in mind. We do have resistance above us, and that's going to be difficult. But in terms of the early warning signs that things could be getting ready to repair, things could be entering a repair phase, a rebuild phase. This double bottom is absolutely sublime. It's absolutely great in my opinion. I'm really, really happy with it. The fact that it comes simultaneously with Ethereum setting a new all-time high really tells us a lot about the general psychological state in this market. If people are willing to take risks in markets like Ethereum right now, and they're willing to buy it all the way above an all-time high, while Bitcoin is in arguably such an anemic state, that really tells me a lot about where the optimism is in this market, and I'm very, very happy with that. I'm going to stick to Ethereum for just a minute, and I want to break down for you what we're seeing right here, because I do think that there is an area of, was an area of resistance right here, which Ethereum has now beautifully managed to climb above. Let me show you how that looks right here. I am seeing this area being a potential support zone for Ethereum because it was resistance previously. When we were trading up here, we got rejected. We got rejected on the top of this box and then rejected on the bottom. We actually formed the head and shoulders, and then we traded lower. Previously, just moving back 1 or 2 days, Ethereum already got rejected here. Earlier today, Ethereum got rejected here as well. And now it looks like if we, well, we're already on the 1 hour time frame. If we do zoom in, it looks like Ethereum might be finding support off this blue box. Now this blue box stretches between 2,480 and 2,550. It's a very, very nice box, potentially indicating where Ethereum might find some support, which is absolutely great in my opinion, because it is an indication that Ethereum could end up forming some sort of a bull flag pattern right now, trading sideways for hopefully a fair amount of time. Maybe it forms a descending triangle, maybe it forms, you know, just a classic bullish wedge of some sort. Anything would be completely fine in my opinion. It could be doing something like that, which could only last, you know, 1 or 2 days, 2 or 3 days, something like that. Just, you know, trading sideways a little bit to correct the trend. You know, Ethereum has moved up by a lot. I think it certainly could be due to correction. It doesn't typically move in very sensible ways, so it might not. And I'm not going to waste my time predicting that kind of thing, but I certainly think that it's due for a correction, and a time-based correction, a simple one that only lasts a day or two, I think would be very, very healthy. Ethereum has already formed a few of them within this rally. This is a classic bull flag. My God, it is just absolutely perfect. Look at that. This is the same pattern you're seeing on stock images all the time, where you're rallying up, the trend slows down a little bit and actually it loses a bit of momentum, and then the rally continues on upwards. Just absolutely perfect. It really doesn't get more obvious and clean than this right here. We've seen more like this one right here as well, so it's not the only you know, kind of falling wedge that we've seen. And you know, hopefully we will enter something a little bit like this now, and then potentially trade a little bit higher. Ethereum, they're definitely looking quite good in my opinion, and actually from a trading perspective, I think it looks very, very clean. I think it looks very healthy from its trading perspective at the moment. And if you are curious to find out where you can trade these kind of markets, then Bybit is one of the key exchanges I'm using, which you can find with the link down below. You can trade a bunch of coins on here, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, XRP, and then a little bit more Link, Cardano, Polkadot, and so on. There's a lot of pairs that you can trade right here on leverage without KYC, and signing up does take less than 30 seconds as well. So well worth checking out. This is the exchange that I've been working with the longest out of anything in the entire crypto space. I love these guys. I've been with them for a very, very long time. And my tutorial on the Bybit platform is also down below, so you can learn how to use it. When you sign up using the link in the description, you are going to be getting some free money to trade with, which is going to help you to you know, potentially get to know the buttons. You don't have to risk your own money. You can kind of use this cash to learn how to actually navigate the exchange. And crucially, whatever profits you make on that free cash that they're going to give you, you can withdraw the profits on. So absolutely huge stuff right there. Very, very well worth checking out, with the link in the description down below if you want to know where you can trade these things, just as I will be doing. So Ethereum, they're looking very, very healthy. And you know, the thing is, like I said, I mean, you know, Ethereum doing this kind of thing, I think it really does demonstrate a good level of optimism for the market for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not been performing absolutely amazingly since that correction up. Like I said, we are already starting to trade a little bit downwards, but you know, I'm not too concerned about that unless we fall back into this blue box, purely because it looks to me like there's a lot of optimism in the market for something like Ethereum right now. And if that's the case, I just can't imagine something that's terribly bearish for Bitcoin. I just can't imagine that things can be too bad for Bitcoin if things for Ethereum are looking so rosy. There is one idea that I want to talk about with you, which is that actually Ethereum could be rallying very hard, just like it was at the end of the previous bull market. So take a look at this. If we look back at 2017's price action, and I compare the Ethereum USD chart right here, what we can see here is that the orange chart is Ethereum, and the regular candles are Bitcoin. And we can see right here that when Bitcoin entered its bear market, which I will illustrate to you shortly with vertical lines, Bitcoin entered its bear market right here. Ethereum kept rallying from that point though. Ethereum rallied very, very hard from that point. And if we look at the price scale on the left-hand side, Bitcoin entered a bear market when Ethereum was at $800, but Ethereum kept rallying up from the 17th of December all the way to its all-time high previously on the 15th of January. So that's nearly an entire month after Bitcoin topped out that Ethereum kept rallying up. And actually, it kept rallying up to $1,400. So it nearly doubled from the point where Bitcoin actually topped out. This is worth taking note of, ladies and gents, and this is actually one of the primary reasons that I'm so confident about Ethereum's performance. This is why, if we take it to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, I've been telling you guys for a very, very long time, before it was cool, before it was trendy, I've been telling you guys for a long time that I'm expecting Ethereum to start outperforming Bitcoin, and you can see clearly today, ladies and gents, Bitcoin down by 0.7%, Ethereum up by 8%. Ethereum is massively outperforming Bitcoin, and the exact reason for this prediction, those of you who've been around on this YouTube channel for a little while, because it's been a while since I've talked about this, those of you who have been subscribed, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because I am talking about this chart. Just drop a comment in the live chat for me. Let me know if you remember when I was talking about this, because I'd be very curious to know how many of you guys watching this live do actually remember me talking about this before, because I used to talk about this a lot. I really do remember that. And so if we take it back to the chart right here, it's very clear that when Bitcoin, tops out, Ethereum does definitely get a chance to start rising very nicely afterwards. And that's where, it could be that the market is about to turn very, very bearish, but just for a short while, perhaps for a month, Ethereum really starts leading the market. That became a concern for me today. Are we seeing something similar where Bitcoin is not performing extremely well and Ethereum is, purely because it's pretty much the end of the bull market, and that's how it went previously, right? So I can show this to you right here, where Bitcoin has not been trending up very well since Ethereum has started this uptrend right here. Let's take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame. We can see this very clearly right now. It's a very clear inverse correlation where Bitcoin has continued to pretty much trade downwards in a falling wedge, while Ethereum has been trading upwards. A very, very clear trend right here where things were pretty bullish for Ethereum while they were bad for Bitcoin. And the question is, does this mean we're at the end of the bull market? I obviously think that the answer to that is no. I don't think that we are looking at the end of the bear or the bull market for Bitcoin. We are actually moving down a little bit right now. So hopefully we don't go down to that blue box while I'm recording. That would be very difficult for me to analyze live. Oh, wow, we already did. Okay, never mind. Well, this is where FORFLIES has to adjust his analysis. Like, oh, fuck me. Okay, this is lagging. This is where I have to adjust my analysis on the fly, so bear with me while my performance anxiety starts getting the best of me. But right there, we were seeing where Ethereum is performing very, very well against Bitcoin. Last time I spoke about that, we could only see the Burj Khalifa. There you go, Johnny. Johnny with the amazing memory. Last time I did speak about that, I was somewhere right there, like directly towards the camera. That's where the previous office was. Now our new office is in the Burj Khalifa, so very, very cool. The other thing that I want to take note of is these kind of falling wedge patterns. Now, typically they are continuation patterns for Bitcoin. It's just that I think that we've seen enough, maybe with the exception of what we're seeing right now, I think that we've seen enough to tell me that this trend could be ready to reverse because of these big spikes upwards. This one is very much an exception, and I'm going to start analyzing this very shortly. Coinbase candles are on crack. They're moving extremely fast right now. But with the exception of this one, it did look to me like things were very, very healthy. And this could actually be just a sign of the downtrend starting to lose a little bit of momentum. And we can see that because are my glasses not straight? They are straight. Everyone's commenting on my glasses. I'm getting very self-conscious about that. This could actually be a case where Bitcoin has overall been trending downwards while the RSI is trending upwards, which is a display of the relative strength in the market moving up while the price is moving down. And that's an indication that things could be ready to reverse. I really want to believe that because we are getting these strong bounces off support. But again, it really does depend on how we start responding to these kind of areas, because I said literally minutes ago that if we come back down to this level anytime soon, that we're going to start being in a bit of a dangerous situation in the market, and we've done that just while I'm live. So I'm not going to talk about it yet. I'm going to leave that to retrace and do whatever it needs to do on these smaller time frames. It's still going absolutely haywire. So let me let this calm down a little bit, and then I'll start giving you my analysis on this. But actually, before I continue, I think now is the perfect time to start talking about lift my right ear. They're both perfectly fine. Oh, it is a bit wonky, isn't it? Oh, I can feel that. I don't know. Feels normal to me. In any case, I think if Bitcoin does fall down below this blue box, then we are looking at falling down to either of these two yellow lines right here. I don't want to talk about it too much until and unless we fall below this box, because this is very bearish analysis, and to be honest, I don't want to go into that just because it's upsetting. But I do, I mean, it's worth, I mean, our feelings are not super important here. The more important thing is actually conducting real analysis. It's just that, I don't think it's super likely we will fall below here at the moment. We will just have to wait and see, to be honest. But if Bitcoin did fall below this area, you guys already know the deal here. I don't think that there's going to be much support for Bitcoin anywhere in this range until we hit these yellow lines. The reason for that is that there was not much resistance on the way up for Bitcoin. On the way up for Bitcoin, Bitcoin did not get any strong retracements that sent it very low. These were just very small pullbacks, and we can actually calculate this just to put it into a little bit of perspective for you guys watching this live. This was a dump of only minus 10%. The next one after this was again only minus 7%, different things like that. So this is definitely not an area that has seen much many strong reversals, and for that reason I would expect that it's going to be pretty much the same picture moving down. If we do that, as soon as we fall below this blue box, we are going to be looking at sinking right down to the low $40,000 range, and that for me is going to be quite concerning in this market. That's definitely going to indicate that things could tumble way lower, down to perhaps even $42,000 or $38,000. I do want to take a quick look at the Ethereum BTC chart and compare these really quickly while we are live. Shout out to those of you who are tuning in to this live stream live today. Thank you all for tuning in. Do make sure to hit up those likes and subscribe if you are enjoying this live stream so far. If you're new to this channel, then here you go. Very realistic analysis. I don't like saying bearish things because it is, it's more fun to say bullish things, but at the end of the day, that's not what's going to put money in your pocket. And that's, at the end of the day, the only thing I care about as a trader is making money trading these markets. And so being honest is more important than being correct. It's more important than being comfortable. And that's where this channel really shines. We are all about real analysis with real trading. I'm not here to give you $1 million Bitcoin price predictions and jack off to that live on video with you guys. I really couldn't care less if Bitcoin goes to $1 million or $10,000, because I'm going to trade it on the way up and I'm going to trade it on the way down if we're moving down. I've been doing it for years. That's exactly how I'm going to keep on doing it. That's exactly how I like to do it. And you guys already know I'm trading these things right here on Bybit with the link in the description down below. We're getting a lot of spam in the comments. I'm going to block people who spam, and Phil, I think you're here today. If you can also block spammers, please do that. You've had your fair warning. Please do not spam the comments, because I'm trying to read them to engage with the community. But right there, yeah, I want to take it back to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, and you can just see, my God, I've been saying it for so long. I'm so happy to see it. Ethereum has started to absolutely skyrocket above its previous highs that it set right here. I said that we would hopefully pass it quite soon. We've done that. We've passed it very, very nicely now, which I'm very happy about. Ethereum against Bitcoin now at nearly 0.05 BTC. That means it nearly costs 0.05 BTC to buy one Ethereum token. And to put this into perspective, Ethereum used to actually be much more valuable compared to Bitcoin way back in the past. This was that rally that I showed you about 10 minutes ago when Bitcoin set its all-time high, around the middle of December, around about here. Ethereum continued to rally for over a month afterwards against Bitcoin. This means that Ethereum was outperforming Bitcoin, and it actually outperformed Bitcoin by a lot. You can see that Ethereum actually nearly tripled against Bitcoin within that 1 month time frame. So I think that's very, very impressive. Someone's asking to make them admin. I don't know you, so I won't make you an admin, unfortunately. I might actually just get one of my assistants to come online and admin this YouTube live stream. If you are here, actually, you might be here to one of my team members. If you are here, please do moderate the live stream, because I think I've given you permissions to do that. But yeah, I do think that Ethereum against Bitcoin will continue to perform very, very well. It does look to me like a little bit of a retracement might be due. And that would make a lot of sense, because if Bitcoin is not going to plummet below this blue box right now, if Bitcoin is actually going to hold these kind of levels, well then Bitcoin has a perfect opportunity to start rising up very nicely right now. I think that's worth keeping in mind. Bitcoin, if it's not going to crash below this blue box, then I think right now it has that turning point. It has everything it needs to start rallying up to all-time highs like $60,000, $70,000, and that would make complete sense because Ethereum has really had its rally right now, and I do think that it would make sense if Ethereum is ready for a little bit of a correction, because this is too much of a staircase to heaven. It's too steep. There's no retracements. It's moving too quickly. I think it's definitely due for this to correct down a little bit, for Ethereum to lose a little bit of strength against Bitcoin. And that would make a lot of sense if Ethereum started to drop a little bit and Bitcoin started to rise a little bit. I think that would make a lot of sense in this market right now, and I would be very, very happy to see something like that right here, because that would give Bitcoin a little bit more breathing space to start rising up and challenging some of those resistance areas. And really, that's what's important for me right now in this market. I want to see Bitcoin challenging these resistance areas and challenging them well. There is a lot of resistance up ahead for Bitcoin, and I am a little bit worried about it. But if Bitcoin can somehow find a little bit more strength where it is right now, potentially, pump out of this falling wedge, which would make sense. It typically is a bearish continuation pattern, like I've said a few times during this live stream, but it could also be a sign of momentum weakening in the market a little bit. I certainly think that it would make a little bit of sense if Bitcoin did start to pump out of this, because, this is exactly the same pattern that Bitcoin was in before, and we've already broken out of it, but we found great support. So this has got me thinking that it must just be a case of, final bears potentially selling off a little bit. Hopefully we start seeing funding rates going negative. Let's actually take a look at that and see if it has happened yet. I'm not sure if it has happened yet. Let's actually take a look at it on the daily chart. So funding rates are still not negative, unfortunately. Doesn't look like they will be anytime soon, actually, to be honest. But one little dip perhaps could be what washes that out. I'm not entirely sure. But to be honest, I think it is low enough to where this can start justifying some very nice upward price action. I am ready to start going through your questions in just a moment, ladies and gents. So if you do have any questions, please do drop them in the comments today. Thank you all for tuning in. We got 500 viewers. Let's shoot up those likes. We can hit 1,000 likes on this live stream. So if you are finding this useful so far, if you're finding this calming, if you're looking at this dump right now, if you were looking at this dump and you were panicking a little bit, wondering what the hell's going on, if I've helped declutter that even a little bit for you and you think that that's worth hitting up the like button, then please do so. I've been talking to you guys a lot about the shadow ban that this channel has been experiencing, and it looks like that now has pretty much been fully lifted. So thank you all so much for helping me out with the like button, for hitting that subscribe button if you are enjoying the content on this YouTube channel. I will start going through your questions in just a second. I want to make a quick note on this amazing trading range. I did actually enter a short position on this dump right here. I closed a nice profit on this wick. However, I did end up getting stopped out in a loss on this move right here. This was a minus 13% loss, so a very small controlled loss. I'm fine with it. It's okay. It does happen in these kind of markets, and it's completely fine, because just before this I was in a trade where I was able to secure a 50% profit up here, closed a little bit more profit around 26%, and closed the rest of it around or slightly above break even as well, because I was anticipating this dump. So these are the kind of trades I've made in this recent market. I've only made 2 trades in the recent week, but they the first one went very well in my opinion. It saved me from a massive loss, and I actually walked away by closing a small 56% gain as well right there. This one was a small loss, and the deal with the VIP group that I'm about to talk to you about is where you can see all the information on every trade I'm making, and I don't have a crystal ball, despite what you might believe. I do make mistakes, I do lose money from time to time, and one of the key things you're able to see inside the VIP group is how I'm navigating that, because this is very, very realistic. I always avoid losing money. No shit, it's very, very obvious, but there's key reasons for why I aim to do that, and I'm showing you the entire working process behind my trades. This channel is all about analysis. This is all about analyzing the markets, but it's nothing about the trading. And so if you are interested in the trading side of what we offer, then the Telegram channel is right here for you, clicking on the first link in the description down below, then the @FORFLIES button, and then send message to ask me how to join. Members have been absolutely killing it. Take a look at this message that I got from a member a little while back, in over a 300% profit, paying off his membership fee in the first trade that this person took upon joining VIP and that was inside of less than a week. So absolutely killer results, very, very beautiful results right there. And there's just a whole lot more of that. There's just so many very, very impressive results. You can just pause the video and read these if you are interested in finding out about these amazing gains. These are people that are not necessarily swimming in money with $50,000 bankrolls or anything like that. These are normal people with normal bankroll sizes, able to join VIP. Bam, 77%, just looking like standard procedure out here inside of VIP. So if you do want to get in on some of this amazing action, then the steps to join are on screen right here, and my assistants are online right now. So if you do follow these steps, we'll send you the information right away. I'm going to start going through your questions now as well. I did see a question about Swissborg, so bear with me. I'm going to go talk to you about them in just a little bit. Bitcoin is forming a bull flag on the daily. That's very interesting. We'll take a look at that. Can I share my thoughts on a fair price of Bitcoin? The only fair price of Bitcoin is the current price of Bitcoin, and it's always been that way, and it will always be that way, in my opinion. Bitcoin bull flag on the daily. Yes, I will take a look at that. What do I think of the daily RSI? Not too worried about it. I don't typically look at the RSI. It's always a tertiary analysis point, in my opinion. It's not even secondary. It's not something that I take into any real consideration, but as a third level indicator that I would put at the absolute lowest of the low in terms of priority, I do look at the RSI, but I would never look at it in any special way. FORFLIES, no panic at all here. You love shorting Bitcoin. Very, very nice. Anyway, what do I think about the connection with Bitcoin dropping and the S&P 500? It looks like the S&P 500 is pulling Bitcoin down. Let's take a quick look at that. But before we do go to that, let's take a look at the daily bull flag. I want to see how that is looking for Bitcoin, if it does actually have a bull flag. I don't see that bull flag, unfortunately. To me, it just looks a little bit more like a wedge. There's not much I could say about this. I don't see a bull flag here, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 though, because I know that this has been under a little bit of fire today. Really not that much, to be honest. The S&P 500 is the one that has the bull flag right here. This looks like a very, very healthy bit of consolidation potentially before it starts blowing off to the upside. I certainly think that it's correlated, where if the S&P 500 is dropping, Bitcoin might drop a little bit as well. I'm curious to see how the dollar is responding as well. So the dollar has started to climb up a little bit, started to hit that fib resistance. My God, we've had this Fibonacci drawn for a very, very long time. I'm curious about this. How many of you guys were watching this YouTube channel when I first drew this Fibonacci? It must have been somewhere around this time, anywhere between kind of April to October, anywhere in April to July, I think, is when I drew this last year. So it's been nearly 1 full year that I've had this Fibonacci drawn, and it has respected, the dollar has respected this Fibonacci so well. I'm very, very impressed with it. The dollar has climbed up a little bit, which is definitely an indication that things could be getting a little bit worse for the conventional markets, including Bitcoin. And crucially, I think that it's worth taking note of the fact that if the dollar is starting to rise, it could be in part due to the new tax plans that Biden has announced just today, where they are looking to tax capital gains at something absolutely ridiculous, like 40%. So I don't need to tell you guys how crazy that is. We all know very much how the US has some of the craziest tax policies in the world, but this is definitely still quite comedic to be watching, and I think that could explain a little bit of why the dollar is rising right here, because it's a way for the government to earn more dollars without printing them. So that can that can certainly put people at ease just a little bit, but broadly speaking, it's difficult to say that this can be saved. David in the comments, didn't see my channel on YouTube. A friend referred you to me. Thank you very much to your friend. Biden's tax news causes whales to pull out of equity, and Bitcoin seems to follow equities closely and will drop because of the equities drop. It certainly makes sense. The thing to keep in mind right now, ladies and gents, and I know that a lot of you guys don't like to face this reality, but that's precisely why I'm going to have to blow this up and put this right in your face right now. The thing to understand about these things right now, ladies and gents, is that Bitcoin has matured quite a bit in certain ways. And one of those ways is the big players that are controlling this market are no longer people sitting in their basements mining Bitcoin on their NVIDIA and AMD graphic cards that their mom bought them for Christmas. That's not what crypto is anymore. Crypto is run by big players, big institutions, and these play by white collar rules on Wall Street, things like that. It's not any longer the Winklevoss twins or anything like that. the Winklevoss brothers that can be, completely, managing exactly what's going to happen in this market. It's just not like that anymore. It's shifted, it's evolved, it's matured. And that means that when conventional big markets are taking hits, markets like Bitcoin will also take hits. And the reason for that is these markets are typically seen as being safer than markets like Bitcoin. And so if safer markets are crashing, then risky markets are definitely perceived to be not worth the risk. If your safe investment is falling, you will not be willing to take extra speculative risk, and people generally do perceive Bitcoin as being an extra risky asset. The only thing that's incredibly confusing about this is the fact that Ethereum is still rising, and that's what does kind of invalidate what I've said right there. So you can take what I've just said with a pinch of salt. I certainly still believe that there's some validity to it, but it's worth taking note that if Ethereum has rallied so hard as it did right here, well, that definitely does mean a little bit that people are not super worried about what's going on in crypto, and that this very much just could be a temporary bit of a dip. It actually already might be looking like that, because this entire dip has now been erased, although we do still have 23 minutes until this candle closes, so we will see what happens inside of that time. Can I analyze LT? I don't know what LT is. Thanks for Swissborg. So let's take a look at Swissborg. I was telling you guys about Swissborg a while ago. I was telling you that it was at a beautiful, beautiful buy zone when it was trading around this area. This was around $1. It's now up to $1.16, which is an easy 16% gain. And that's the thing. It really isn't an easy gain right here. This is one of the coins that has very, very good economics behind it in terms of reasons that it can pump up to all-time highs and potentially even beyond. I sold right here and told you guys it would start looking like a good buy down here, and that's exactly what happened. Bought down here. Those of you who were watching the channel back then will remember when I was telling you all about that. So I think it's looking very, very healthy, and I certainly think that it could be ready to rise higher. I wouldn't be surprised if it fell back down to this area to potentially find a little bit more support and then carry on higher. It is very much in the characteristic of Swissborg that it will just fluctuate around these areas for a very long time and then eventually make a quick move upwards. We've seen that a million times where it makes a quick move up, fluctuates for a very long time, and then a quick move up, just fluctuating, quick move up, very long time fluctuation, and then very quickly up. And so it certainly would make sense to me that we stay stuck in this range for a little bit longer, and then we just all of a sudden, when you don't really expect it, we take a big move to the upside. If you are interested in finding out where you can trade Swissborg, there's also a link for that inside of the description labeled Join Swissborg, and there you can actually gain access to their app. They are a Bitcoin exchange. You can actually link your bank account with them, and you can buy Bitcoin right there. You can sell Bitcoin as well, withdraw it straight into your bank account. They're Swiss regulated, absolutely great. One of our channel partners, and I love them to bits. So I do think that they, and by the way, like I said, I did buy them, so I've got a personal investment here. That's how much. Those of you who've been watching for a while, you'll know that I don't like altcoins, and if I was willing to bend that rule for this coin, I think that should tell you a lot about how much faith I've got in them. Let's see what other questions we have here. Why is my mouth so small? I've wondered that all my life. I don't know. It is a very small mouth for a normal human. That is absolutely correct. Produces amazing sounds though. The voice that my mouth produces is absolutely great, so I'm pretty happy with that. Can you please explain diminishing returns relation to Bitcoin? Can you talk about that? Well, when an asset is maturing, it's supposed to give you diminishing returns. It's supposed to be rising with less and less extreme price action over time, but that's not happening to Bitcoin. So no, I can't talk about it. It should be happening. It's not happening. I don't know why it's not happening. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it's incredibly confusing. And I'm glad that I'm humble enough to admit that, because I don't even want to waste your time and pretend like I know exactly why that's happening, because I don't, and it's very confusing. Shout out to one of our members in the comments here who mentioned that you bought Swissborg at 96 cents after watching one of our videos. You would be in a very nice profit after that, so that's very, very cool. Let's see what else we have in the comments today as far as your questions go. Really interesting thoughts about the two markets, but does that mean if we are facing inflation, economic crisis, that will hurt Bitcoin hard? No, inflation should help the market. I mean, when there's inflation, which there has been a lot of, the dollar has been collapsing, right? I mean, the dollar has dropped by a lot if we look at this on a daily time frame since since Trump was elected, really. I mean, but also just kind of the coronavirus market crash that happened in March has triggered a massive downfall for the dollar. I mean, it's dropped by a lot right here, and I mean, this is an index, so it's not to say that the dollar literally got 11% weaker, but it's actually much worse than this in real life. That's a lot for a world-leading currency to drop by in such a short space of time. And of course, I can just overlay Bitcoin's price action on top of this, and the picture is extremely clear in my opinion. Let me show you how this looks really quick, taking Bitcoin USD on top of this, and I mean, it couldn't be clearer than this in my opinion. It really couldn't be better than this. This is exactly where Bitcoin bottomed out, and that's exactly where the dollar topped out, and from there the dollar started collapsing, and from there Bitcoin started absolutely rising, breaking through the roof and tripling its previous all-time high. So inflation and economic crises are not necessarily a bad thing for Bitcoin. They are a bad thing for the world, and that's important to take note of, guys. When a dollar collapses like this, people are getting poorer, and normal people are getting poorer. Not the rich people that already have their yachts and stuff like that and already control the banks. They are not the ones getting poorer. It's normal people like you and me and our mothers and grandmothers and neighbors that are getting poorer in the economy if a dollar or other major world currency is collapsing. So it's not a good thing. But what it does mean is that things like Bitcoin, speculative assets, gold, whatever, stocks, they will start rising, and so wealthy people will get wealthier. Poor people will generally get poorer when something like this happens. So it's not necessarily a good thing for the world, but it's certainly a good thing for Bitcoin. Now, whether it's a good thing for the world or not doesn't mean that it's going to stop or start happening. But I think it's worth taking note that, a lot of us, we do want to really start, as I always say, just to give you this very crude analogy, everyone loves to jack themselves off to analogies of, to ideas of Bitcoin going to things like $1 million, which I can understand is very exciting and very appealing for a lot of people. But we need to keep in mind that this entire rally for Bitcoin, from $3,000 to $60,000, that's a 20 times return. That triggered a 10% collapse in the US dollar relative to other currencies. And actually in real life, like I said, it was actually much worse than 10%. It was something like 30% of all dollars in existence, something like that, were printed in the past year. I don't know what the actual number is. It's not actually very easy to find if you're a normal person, a normal member of the public, because the US has really ramped up their levels of, I'm sorry, I've dropped something here. The US has really ramped up their levels of corruption over the past year as well, and corruption isn't the right word, but it describes it somewhat, and they're not even reporting this data correctly or accurately. However, the point is, if these kind of things happen, it will generally mean that Bitcoin will start rising and doing very well, but it will mean that the rest of the world is getting poorer, right? So for Bitcoin to pull a 20x, the dollar had to collapse 10% on this index. Let's say the dollar collapses another 10% for Bitcoin to do another 20x. Well, a 20x from $50,000 is going to put it at $1 million. So that means the dollar on this relative currency index would potentially fall. I mean, we can just calculate this. The dollar has already fallen from 103 to where it, well, let's say the bottom by an arbitrary 13.675 units. If it drops by another 13.675 units, this is not something to celebrate. I mean, if you celebrate this, you're a fucking psychopath. It's going to put it at 75. And when is the last time the dollar has been at this level? I mean, and this is very unscientific. So, if you're actually curious about conversations like this, first of all, don't have them with me because I'm an idiot. But more importantly, other people will know how to talk about these things with much more accuracy than I can. But we are looking at levels that the dollar hasn't been at since, exactly 10 years now. So, there's no situation where something like this can be good for you or the world. You might get rich with Bitcoin, but the dollar collapsing this low is going to mean way more people will be homeless. So you're going to be very, very wealthy in your Hollywood Hills house, but people are going to break into it and kill you because they want to rob you. And so it really is not realistic to be rubbing yourself off to massive predictions like that. you know, the dollar would need to really fall through the floor. This is the other thing that I was talking about with the VIP member on a call just today. This is the other thing that I was talking about with this VIP member, where you know, things would have to get very, very bad for the world if Bitcoin were to go to levels like that. And I think that's extremely important to keep in mind. Just on a completely unrelated note, but while there's so many viewers in this live stream, I did want to touch on that right now. If you are new to the channel, by the way, that's what this channel is all about. I want to break down these concepts for you as a trader, sometimes in macroeconomics like I did today. I don't touch on it too much because I'm very quick to admit that I'm not the right person to be talking about this, but from time to time I do like to touch on these subjects as well. So if you do find this realism useful to you, you know, if you do like these reality checks and you prefer to actually be grounded with your analysis and your understandings of these markets, then that's what the FORFLIES channel is all about. If you are enjoying it, then please do hit up the likes, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, so that you don't miss all of this amazing content. Like I say, you might even be regularly watching this channel already, but if you're not subscribed, you're going to keep on missing content, because I post videos nearly or practically every day now. But if you're not subscribed, you're not going to get notified for them. You might just get notified for 1 out of every 10 videos, and that could cost you a lot in terms of opportunity cost as well. So it's well worth keeping that in mind right there. Let's see what some of your questions are talking about right here as well. If you do have questions, then please remember to tag me. Just write my name in the chat, just like I've done in the live chat right now. Please do please do remember to tag me so that I do read your comment. Otherwise I will miss it and I will not be able to answer your questions. What cryptos except Swissborg and Cardano would I invest in the near future? None of them, only Ethereum. Lexi is asking if I'm single. No, I'm married to the game. What are my thoughts on the likelihood of current Bitcoin market to Wyckoff distribution? No idea. The Wyckoff stuff is very confusing to me. I'm sorry. I know you wanted a very technical answer to that, but I can't give it to you. If the US government just bought Bitcoin right now, they might be able to pay off their debt. That's hilarious. Why did I choose Swissborg and not Cardano or VeChain? I met the guys behind Swissborg all the way up to the top, and they're actually regulated in Switzerland and Estonia, which is extremely impressive to me, because I've done a lot of compliance work in Europe and it's bloody difficult. So the fact that they were able to pull that off is extremely impressive. I don't drink water these days. I do. I actually I drank all of this just before the stream. That's actually not much, to be honest, but I should drink a little bit more, to be honest. Oh god, okay. I don't make videos on low cap gems. There's no such thing as a low cap gem. There's a shitcoin, and then there's Bitcoin. And then there's Ethereum and Swissborg in between. And that's it. I'm not gonna look at gems or anything like that. That's just not that's not what I do. FORFLIES, the dollar will crash. It's not a matter of if. I agree that it's not necessarily good, but long term it's the only way we can have a sustainable system. It's not the only way, and nothing is guaranteed, Chris. Absolutely nothing in life is guaranteed. So it's better not to talk in absolutes. FORFLIES is real. Everyone else is hyping up a massive sudden bull run for views. Thanks for keeping it honest. You're very welcome, Elliot. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. Thank you all for already hitting up that like button. We've just passed, by the way, 75,000 subscribers, and we're already at 77, which is absolutely crazy. So thank you all so much for the support that you've been showing on these videos and live streams recently. I do hope that I am paying it back to you guys with amazing content every single day. My thoughts on Biden announcing a 43% capital gains tax. Look, I live in Dubai. I moved here over 6 months ago, and there's no tax here, and life is good, and that's basically those are my thoughts. I think it's insane. Obviously, it's a joke. Obviously, wealthy people are not going to be paying 43% tax either. It's just for the middle class to be paying their taxes. You know, the upper class don't really pay the same kind of taxes, and the lower class don't have enough to qualify. So it's just for show. It's all politics. What's my take on the weekly ADX? I've never used the ADX. I can't comment on that. Forget Bitcoin, I love the waterworks behind you. Yeah, the water fountain and all that is very, very cool. You can't actually see much of it, but that's the fountain right there, and they do actually have very cool fountain shows every half an hour, 1 hour. So you're going to see another one in about 10 minutes. Just watch out for that. In exactly 10 minutes, you're going to see another one. How do I swap my Bitcoin for Ethereum? You can do it on Swissborg. I'm sorry, on Bybit actually. You can even do it on Swissborg. Can you? Yeah, I think you can do it on Swissborg. Bybit actually has an asset exchange where you can deposit your Bitcoins on it, and you can exchange them straight for Ethereum, and you can actually even trade them right here on Leverage as well, which I think is extremely, extremely useful. So once again, for those of you who are looking for a place to trade, if you already have a place to trade, you need a backup. So if you don't already have a backup either, then Bybit is absolutely great. I've been working with them, as you know, for nearly 3 years now. It's 3 or 2 years, I can't remember. In any case, a very, very long time. And it's the longest partnership I've ever had on this YouTube channel. So it's well worth checking out if you are interested in finding out exactly where you might be able to trade. If you are in the United States and other territories like that, you will need a VPN. It is not something I can endorse, but I've never heard of any issues with doing that. My tutorial to use Bybit is also down in the description waiting for you as well. What do I think of XRP? I hate it. If you are an XRP army fan or anything like that, you can leave the live stream now. We don't need you here. We're looking for IQ above 80. So if you like XRP, you can see yourself out. Nigel is asking, am I fasting for Ramadan? I fast every day, regardless of the month, because that's my lifestyle. It's to achieve fat loss. How do I figure where confirmation is? I don't understand your confirmation question. What do I think about NFTs? This is not a channel for stupid trendy things. That's what I think about them. I'm not interested. Lexi Waters finding the married to the game line funny. I love that line too. Background in my window. This is Dubai. This is downtown Dubai. This is like this. I'm recording this from the Burj Khalifa. I'm sure you all know what the Burj Khalifa is. It's the tallest building in the world. How many times do you think we can test the 52k support area before it breaks to the downside? Good question, Johnny. Thank you very much. As I'm going, please do start dropping some more questions that are related to TA. I don't want to go too off topic right now. I do want to stick to these, I think, more important questions right here on this live stream. And Johnny is asking, how many times can we test this area before we break it? The truth is, I couldn't tell you an exact number of time, but what I can tell you is this. It's the third time now that we've tested this area in 5 days, and actually in 4 days. And so that's not giving me a lot of confidence that this market is gonna be able to hold this level. You know, if we keep on testing it, it's gonna get weaker. And the analogy I give you is, it's like you've got a statue and you've got a pickaxe, and you're hacking at the statue constantly, 24 hours a day, 10 times a minute. And eventually cracks are going to start to show, and eventually the whole thing is just going to crumble and fall. So I don't see that there's any way around that, unfortunately. I wish there was, but I just don't see it. And because of that, I do think eventually it's going to collapse if we keep on testing it, but I couldn't tell you how many more times we will test it until it does collapse. I thought that 3 would be enough, I didn't necessarily think that 3 would be enough, but that the risk is extremely high at number 3, and we already had number 3, so now we're looking at number 4 if we get another one. Look, the risk is very high that it's going to break if we keep on testing it, especially if we test it soon. If we don't test it soon, and actually if we trade sideways or even upwards, what we're going to start seeing is that these resistance areas that Bitcoin has on time frames like the 1 hour right here, they are going to start closing up. If Bitcoin can hold this level sideways or even trade up, this Ichimoku resistance is going to start closing up, and it's going to become a green cloud. That means we're going to be flipping from bearish to bullish. That would be an absolutely amazing sign in this market right here, and that's only going to happen if we end up trading sideways. So that's what I think about this kind of area right here. I think that if we test it soon, we're almost guaranteed to break down. I think that if we're at least able to just trade sideways for, at least a couple of days, that's where this resistance is going to get a lot weaker, because we're actually going to be challenging it if we trade sideways. Look, if we trade sideways right here, we're literally going to be inside the Ichimoku cloud within, less than 24 hours, less than 20 hours, we're going to be trading inside of this resistance area, which I think is kind of concerning. But if Bitcoin is able to hold this kind of level and not hit this level very soon, then I think that is going to give us a chance to really weaken that resistance. And that's exactly what Bitcoin needs, because Bitcoin has had now 3 very good bounces off the blue box. Don't get me wrong, I'm not happy that we got a third one so soon, but I am glad that we got the same classic V-shaped correction. And actually, I can show this to you now on the 1 minute time frame with both of these corrections down. Take a look at this. I mean, we dropped down and it's literally in the same minute we're already recovering upwards. Same thing right here. We dropped down literally in the same minute we're already moving upwards. So these are good signs that show us that there was a lot of buying pressure in the market, and that means we've done the initial step right here of showing some good signs of strength in the market. The next thing that we need to do, in my opinion, now is start breaking these resistance areas down. And obviously we can't just trade upwards, and that would be the easiest way to do it, but I'm not sure if the market has that kind of strength. So literally just trading sideways right here would be good enough in my opinion. Let's see what a 4-hour Ichimoku is as well. So 4-hour resistance is a little bit higher. It's around $57,000, and I think that's worth keeping in mind as well. Thank you for the question, Johnny. FORFLIES, what's your view of the world and the power of money? That's a very big question, so you would need to be more specific. I don't know how I could answer that. Do I think Elon is an alien or reptilian? I think it's just a very, very cool human that's slightly autistic, as all geniuses usually are. Do I think Cardano is still better performing than Binance? I'm pretty sure that's not a thinking question, but an objective answer. And I don't know, I'd have to check. Seriously, I'm in the Burj Khalifa, yes. This is the Burj Khalifa. And actually, you can see the fountains, they're starting to be all glittery and beautiful now. So yes, this is the Burj Khalifa, that's the Dubai fountain. When Burj Penthouse? When Bitcoin hits 1 million, probably. But then, like I said, if Bitcoin hits 1 million, we'll all be having much bigger problems than worrying about our investments. Greetings from the Netherlands. Welcome, Kevin from the Netherlands. Bitcoin is dumping, buddy. Sell your bags. Thank you for the financial advice. I should do a stream from the top of the Burj. That's a genius idea. Yes, I will do that. I will definitely do that. That's a genius idea. Thank you for that. Bearish divergence on the weekly? I don't want to look at that. I'm not too worried about it. Johnny, I mention quite often, thank you for the good questions, about getting paid to keep long or short positions open depending on funding rates. Can I explain what I mean by this? Okay, I'll try and be quick with this. This is a concept with leverage trading where when you're leverage trading, the exchange is essentially increasing. You're trading with $10,000. The exchange will give you $90,000 more, for example, to trade just like a mortgage. Although there's no credit checks or anything like that, so there's no qualifying for the debt. You can just get it if you want it, and the reason for that is the collateral for your debt is your own money. So there's never any risk that the exchange can lose money ever. It's just not possible. I mean, everything is possible, but it's not going to happen. But because they're loaning you that money, essentially, one of the fees that they'll charge you are funding fees, which are essentially the fees that you pay to be trading with the exchange's money. And those fees are typically charged every 8 hours, and they're typically very, very high. If everyone is taking long positions, if everyone is trying to play the long side in the market, the upside in the market, we will see that people who are trading the downside, they actually start getting paid, because the people trading the upside are paying such high fees that the exchange starts giving money back to the people who are losing money potentially in bearish positions. So you actually get paid to keep your position open, only a little bit, 0.04%, nothing big at all. But you get paid a little bit every 8 hours to keep your position open. Really, these fees, they shouldn't be noticeable for you. If you notice these fees, if you're even trying to get these fees, you're playing a dangerous game. It probably means you're not very profitable. So I think that's worth keeping in mind. Fibonacci on Bitcoin, I'll take a look at that in a minute. Why am I so sensitive about XRP? I've never had someone call me sensitive about XRP. I don't think I'm sensitive. Thanks for your TA. What do I make of the death cross on the 4-hour? I'm not too worried about death crosses ever. They are just signs that things are potentially turning bearish, but they're not particularly scary or upsetting for me. Do I use Bitcoin dominance? Nope. Or total market cap? Nope. When doing analysis? No, I don't. What is the cheapest way? See the fountains going off right now? Take a look at that. This is the coolest thing ever. I just get to show you this in my live streams. How are my thoughts on whales influencing Ethereum and Bitcoin? I don't know what thoughts I could have on that. How much costs for a good pizza in Dubai? That's a really weird question, and I don't know. Normal costs that you'd pay in the West. Whole market pretty much tracks Bitcoin up and down to the second. Is this done with the use of bots? Yes, it is. Whole market is traded by bots. Everyone's saying my glasses look crooked, but they're literally not. I think it's my head. Oh, they are. They look very crooked. I don't know what it is, though. Is this better? I don't know. It's comfortable this way. What am I gonna do? Well, I can't do anything. It's comfortable this way. Stop focusing on my glasses. Let's see if we have any more questions. If there's anything else you want me to analyze, please let me know, and I will go through it. How old am I? Serenity, do you want to take a guess? I'm sure someone in the comments can tell you. Is it more economical to use post-only trades? None of these things will make a difference if you're a good trader. Are there interest rates in futures? No. Interest rates are the funding rates. I never thought of it that way, but technically that's what they are. Well, not technically, but practically that's what they are. I'm new to crypto. Would Cardano and XRP be a good start? Nothing would be a good start, Zakir, other than educating yourself and studying financial markets so that you don't lose money. What is the cheapest way to exchange Bitcoin with fiat? Phemex has no fees, but they sell you Bitcoin at a premium, so there are fees. You'll just have to try out a bunch of different exchanges. You can try out the one on Bybit with the link in the description as well. In your own country, whichever country you're in, you might have your own exchanges available that would be very useful for you. What does the name FORFLIES mean? I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. You think my left ear is a bit higher than my right ear? I don't know. Marston is filling his belly with caviar. Unfortunately, no one else is because Bitcoin is dumping. Can I please show how to lay over the two charts as I did with Bitcoin and Ethereum? Yes, I can. I don't know if you can see it though. Oh, yeah, you can see it. So it's just up here. There is a compare button. I don't know if this button is available to members with a free plan on TradingView. It should be, but I'm not sure. But now you can just type in whichever symbol, new price scale, and bam. It's going to show right there. Just like that. Very simple. Very straightforward. Analyze Litecoin. I don't want to look at Litecoin. If you guys have any more technical questions for Bitcoin, any trading related questions, please let me know and I will go through them. Otherwise, I'll start looking to head off relatively soon. While we are here in this beautiful trading range, I want to once again highlight to you the amazing results we've been seeing inside of the VIP group right here. You can take a look at these testimonials with absolutely amazing results that we've been seeing in VIP recently. I want to show you another testimonial right here. Bear with me. That was just from 2 days ago, I think. This person mentioning that he made a cheeky little 10% profit on the rebound up to 57k. This person really turning his trading around since joining VIP. This is actually the same person that I was on a phone call with today. This is one of our yearly members inside of VIP who joined about a month ago. And this person mentioned to me something that was very, very impressive. Let me just take away my camera so you can actually read this message. This person mentioned something to me which was very, very impressive, which was that a month ago when he joined VIP, he was doing okay, but was making some mistakes here and there, and he was trading very regularly. This person was trading many times a week, 5-6 times a week, and after joining VIP, this person actually ended up trading a lot less than that. This person started trading more like once or twice a week after joining VIP, which a lot of people will think is going to limit the profits that they make. A lot of people think that the less they trade, the less profits they'll make. But actually, this person is living proof, a very recent new VIP member who joined with our yearly offer, which is our top all access package. This person has very much entered into his own league right here and is trading much less than he ever was before. And I asked him point blank, are you making more money now? Are you seeing better results? And his answer was just an instant yes, he is. He's doing much better than he ever was before, and he's trading much less than he ever was before as well. And if that's not a real show of how powerful limiting your trading can be, then I don't know what is. And these are principles that I'll not only carry out inside of VIP. I don't trade as much as people think I do. I'm not a day trader. I'm not trading every day. I'm not trading like 4 or 5 times a week. That's not what I do. And that can take a lot of people by surprise at first, but then you'll see later on that one of the key things that James reported, just like I tell you guys as well, is that when you trade less often, you'll actually make less losses. And the other thing that I highlighted to him in that call was that you will start to gain more confidence and notice better opportunities when you trade at all. If you're trading less frequently, you're going to be trading better things on average as well. It's definitely what I've seen. It's what this amazing VIP member has seen as well. So for those of you who don't know, our yearly package members are getting access into our advanced FORFLIES Academy, which is over 10 hours of in-depth content teaching you how to trade from A to Z. Literally, you could be a chef and pick up this course with no prior trading knowledge, and you'll know everything I know by the end of that course. You're also getting an entire year in VIP. You're getting our extra Trade Insane package, which is another course that I've made specifically on the best lessons that I've learned as a trader since I started. And I'm even doing phone calls with yearly members as well. So you got questions, you got issues, whatever, you can bring them to that phone call. We can jump on the phone as well anytime you want. So that's been very, very hot and popular recently. And if you do want to get in on some of that action, if you want to see exactly how these people have been able to enroll themselves and see these amazing results. I mean, these are not groundbreaking profits, 10%, but trading really turning around. This person is not, showing you that he's absolutely broken the bank. I mean, this person did, for example, this person pulled a beautiful 300% profit within his first week of joining. So we get results across the board. I'm not saying that you're going to join and you're going to get absolutely groundbreaking 77% gains left, right, and center. You might just see small gains like plus 40%, which can still be very, very nice. You might even lose money. It happens. But if you do want to join the group and see exactly what's possible inside of the VIP group, gain access to all the information about what we offer, then the steps to do that are on screen right here. Click on the first link in the description down below, then on the @FORFLIES button, and then on send message to ask me how to join, and I'll give you all the information about that right there. I'll start going through your questions once again. Thank you all for tuning in today once again, though. If you have enjoyed this live stream so far, please make sure to hit up those likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. And let's see what some of your questions have been saying while I was talking about that. Hello from Russia, welcome. I've joined your channel a few days ago and I find it very informative. Thanks a lot, you're very, very welcome. My question is, I'd like to go deep into analysis. Could I suggest some resources to start with? So I'm going to be very biased here. I have my own course on learning how to trade, including learning how to carry out analysis exactly the way I do. You can gain access to it by following these steps on screen. Follow these steps on screen and then ask me how to trade. Ask me about like how to carry out and how to learn about doing analysis and things like that. And I'll get you enrolled in one of our courses free of charge with your VIP subscription as well. So just follow these steps on screen. If you don't want to buy anything from me, there are lots of books out there that you can buy for, say $10, which is way cheaper than what we offer. And you can learn about how to carry out analysis there as well. It's just that it's not going to be tailor-made to this market. It's not going to be as easy to consume. So it's really up to you and your price range on what you're comfortable spending on your education. The thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people are actually going to, spend this money to join our VIP group to gain access to our courses, but they're going to save themselves from losing so much more money than what they've spent on this educational content. And that's just saving themselves from losing money. On the flip side, on the contrary, many, many people will actually start making good profits after consuming this content as well, which I think is absolutely a killer combination. What kind of questions am I looking for here? Primarily technical questions about analysis or questions about trading and the psychology of being a trader. That's what I typically like to focus these videos on. What percentage of Bitcoin do I think Ethereum may reach in this climb? I think that Ethereum could rise up to 0.1 BTC, which is more than double where it's at right now. How much is an apartment in that building? I couldn't tell you. Probably starting about 2 million dirham, 400,000 pounds, 500,000 euros, something like that probably. I don't know. 450k euros actually, I think that is. Thank you, mate. You're very welcome, Zakir. What would I suggest personally to start off on crypto? I wouldn't suggest anything. In terms of education, You can join my stuff right on screen right here. Otherwise, once again, there are lots of books out there. There are Udemy courses out there as well. It's worth investing a little bit. You're going to guess I'm 23. I'm not 23. I'm 19. Bybit, not available in the UK. I mean, it is available in the UK. You just need a VPN. Everyone I know who's in the UK has continued to use it without any issues. Same for every exchange. Opinions on copying portfolios on the likes of eToro, it sounds like a very, very dangerous thing. But maybe try it if you're curious. What do I do with my Bitcoin now that it's dropping? Nothing. Just holding it. I think it's going to go back up. Even if Bitcoin crashes, I think it'll eventually go back up above 60k, so I'm not very worried about it. Hello from Serbia. Welcome from Serbia. Thank you for live streaming. You're very, very welcome. Thank you. After the price reaches support, how do we get confirmation that the trend has reversed, like now with Bitcoin? I mean, you don't really get confirmation. The best confirmation you'll get is a big bounce like this, but the only confirmation you get after that is that we start breaking resistance levels, but we're not breaking resistance levels. So until you break above resistance levels, you don't have confirmation. You're just speculating. And when you get confirmation, it's too late. That's partly why trading is difficult. FORFLIES, fabulous, thank you. Watching you daily since January. Well, welcome, Erin. Thank you very much for tuning in for a couple of months already. Just sub to your channel. Thank you very much, Marcin. Have I given... No, I'm not looking at altcoins. On the monthly Bitcoin chart, do you think we need an orange candle for an upward trend? Suraj, probably yes. Good question. Probably yes. Well, I mean, it looks like this will close as an orange candle. It's very healthy. I mean, you know, we've had a few of them before. As long as this candle does not turn into a big, scary orange candle, it already kind of is big, but as long as it doesn't get too much bigger than this, I think it'll be okay. After the price reaches support, how do you get... Okay, I've already answered that. Am I still keeping profits in Bitcoin? I always keep it in Bitcoin. Can the ribbon be a good indicator at this time in the market for Bitcoin and Ethereum? Yes, I think so. It's already been very useful. The EMA ribbon is what this person is talking about. If you don't know what that is, you can type this into the YouTube search bar and you can watch my tutorial on this EMA ribbon right here. In fact, I would suggest that everyone watching this live stream, if you don't know what it is, does check this out, because this is an extremely powerful indicator, which I've made a full tutorial on. And it hasn't failed since October other than yesterday. So that's 6 months of very, 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 very useful analysis in the market. It rarely ever fails. Like I said, first time in 6 months that it's failed. And I find that to be a very, very high success rate in my opinion. This video is also part of our wider FORFLIES Academy courses. So if you watch this and you like it, that's exactly what you're going to be getting as a VIP member. You're going to be getting a lot more of that. So go ahead and type that in. If you are curious about VIP and the educational content, type this into the YouTube search bar. You can get a feel for what some of the Academy videos are like, where I teach you how to trade from A to Z as well. I've never had a bucket bong. What's a bucket bong? I'm 97% in Ethereum, 0 BTC. Exchange all my Ethereum to Bitcoin now. I cannot tell you to do that at all. FORFLIES, discuss and compare your Ichi settings versus default values. Well, my Ichimoku settings are 20, 60, 120, 30 on screen right here. Look at my cursor on the left-hand side. These are my Ichimoku settings. There's nothing to discuss. This is just what I was told to use by another YouTuber many years ago, and I've been using them ever since because I was told that these are tailored to a 24/7 market, and the default settings are tailored to a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday market. So that's it. Nothing else I can say. Can I show my analysis one more time? No, you can rewind the live stream. I don't want to repeat it for everyone who has been here from the beginning. How many of you guys have been here from the beginning, by the way? I'd be curious to know. Because we are an hour and 13 in. So I'm just curious how many people are still here right from the beginning. John Doe, I can't find the VPVR indicator. You can't find it if you're not a premium member. If you're a premium member on TradingView, which starts at I think $20, there's another link for that in the description. You will have access to the VPVR indicator. Any trade plan, any paid plan works, but you need a paid plan. If you don't have one, it's not going to show up. How do I feel about us spending a second hourly candle in this range? Very nervous. I don't like it. Is Coinbase Pro the cheapest way to buy in the UK? No, the cheapest way is always going to be OTC. Greetings from Fairmont Residence Palm Jumeirah to Burj Khalifa. Very, very cool. Fairmont Residence Palm Jumeirah. I've not heard of that. Where is it? Is it on the stem of the palm or is it on the branch? Fairmont Residence. Yeah, I've never heard of it. I go to the palm a lot. Chris asking what's the cost for annual. You can get all the information on everything we offer by following these steps here. We'll give it to you all in private messages. You can literally ask right now. My assistants are online right now, so you'll get an answer very, very soon. Yeah, my assistants literally, just as I said that, has responded to some messages. Buy in at 35k. I can't tell you what to do, Jamie. I'm sorry. Is it worth holding Bitcoin or trade with the same capital? I always hold Bitcoin. Thanks for the amazing analysis. Thank you very much, Johnny. Keep giving good analysis and I will keep with the good questions. It's my pleasure. If I were to start crypto today, what 3 coins would I invest in? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Swissborg. But I would not be an investor, I would be a leverage trader. Massive shade on the chefs. It wasn't meant to be shade on chefs where I said you could be a chef and get in the course. The point is, you could be anything completely unrelated to crypto, anything completely unrelated to trading with, you know, like a chef has absolutely nothing in common with a trader, nothing. You know, you could be a chef, you could be a pilot, you could be a cleaner, you could be, you know, someone who assembles garments in a factory, and you will have the same starting point with that course. That was the objective with it. It's done so well. It's done so well. I love it. It's turned normal people into killer traders so many times. It's one of my proudest things that I've ever made. Does the symmetrical triangle turn into a descending triangle in the Bitcoin 4 hour? Let's take a look. Oh wow, we are dumping on this chart. No, I don't see a descending triangle or anything like that. It just looks like a weak pattern to me. It just looks like Bitcoin's, yeah, really testing levels that it shouldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised looking at this. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing dumped down into the 40k range like today or tomorrow. This is not good. This is not healthy. It's doing the one thing that I said I didn't want it to do. And I said this right at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the live stream. How do I cash out your gains from Bybit if you're a US citizen? I cannot comment on that for you. Talk to your tax advisor. At this point in time, would you keep your profits in Bitcoin or Ethereum? Bitcoin? Yeah, I mean, even though I think Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin, it's still a little bit more speculative, so I'd rather hold Bitcoin. Can I please do more analysis on Bitcoin after the candle closes before the end of the stream? I mean, I'm doing it live for you right now. We're getting close to this blue box. It's not a good thing. We're testing it too much. What else can I say beyond that? Either we're going to trade sideways or dump down, but I think the chances of breaking down are quite high right now. We're getting too comfortable with the support. It's not a good thing in my opinion. I don't like that. I don't think it's a good thing. Finally found a crypto guy out here in DXB. There's a lot of crypto people out here, bro. Check out MM Crypto, Carl the Moon, Crypto Jack. Those 3 guys also live out here. Moritz Mo, but he's German. He speaks in German, so you won't understand his videos. Do I do longs multiple times? No, I just hold one position at a time. Swissborg market cap? I don't know. What is it? You tell me. Greetings from India, bro. FORFLIES. How to trade with a small wallet? The same as with a big wallet. No difference. How to trade if you have a small wallet around 5k? 5k is not a small wallet, but it's the same way as a big wallet. Thank you very much for all the informative content. You really use Ichimoku and EMA for my trade decisions. Absolutely. Everything you see here is what influences my trade decisions. 1 Ethereum equals 0.1 BTC in the next few days. Maybe not in the next few days. That's way too soon. Maybe in the next few months. Do I still talk to my siblings? I have no siblings. Oh, a lot of you guys are here from the beginning of the stream. That's impressive. You guys are real. I like that. Shout out to you guys. Alright, so I think I'll take a couple last questions and start looking to head off. It has been a beautiful hour, 20-minute live stream so far, so thank you all for tuning in. If you have enjoyed this Q&A section, then please do hit up the likes. I do try to go through every single comment in the comment section, every comment that tags me. If you don't tag me, I'm not going to see your comment, but I do try to go through every single one that does tag me. So if you have enjoyed this little Q&A section on top of the analysis, then you know what to do. How do I identify support areas? Well, you just look for places where the market either gets rejected. You look for places where the market either gets rejected or finds support, or gets rejected or rejected, rejected, support, and so on. And when you can see that the same area has a lot of those interactions, you can draw a box or a line. Do I think the 21-week EMA on the weekly is good support? Yes. As alt season has started, doesn't that mean the end of the bull market is near? Nope, doesn't mean that at all. We can have multiple alt seasons before the bull market ends. Will FORFLIES coin? There's no coin named after me. What are you talking about? Simon, you were the first here. Well, shout out to you, Simon. Thank you very much for being here for a long time. That's amazing. Thank you, FORFLIES. You're very, very welcome, Khan. How would you would I short here to long at a lower price? No, you don't need to be in a position 24/7. I do think we might drop lower. It doesn't mean I have to short. I might still short anyway, but that's besides the point. Am I still in school? No, I dropped out of school. I left school when I was 17. I hated school. Absolutely hated school. Great live as always. Thank you very much, Luciano. How to get that blue line that goes through your Ichimoku cloud currently? There's no blue line on my Ichimoku cloud. You mean this blue box? Oh, this blue line? This blue line is the 200 moving average. It's nothing to do with the Ichimoku cloud. Nothing to do with the Ichi cloud. It's just a random line. Great live as always. Yeah, thank you. I've already read that actually, haven't I? What should I do if I forgot to put stop loss on Bitcoin? You should punch yourself in the dick because you're an idiot. That was a little bit rude. I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean to be so rude. No, but there is no excuse. Look, I forgot my seatbelt. Now I crashed and I'm dead. You know, that's what that sounds like to me. There's no excuse for not using protection with a stop loss. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to not have a stop loss. There's no excuse for it. I have a very, very strict hardline approach on this. It blows my mind how many people think it's okay to not use a stop loss, and then they lose all of their money, and they still don't think it's okay, and they still think it's okay to not use a stop loss. It's like, this is the definition of the idiot that's in an abusive relationship and just stays in it. That's what's happening when you don't use stop losses. And the people that blow my mind the most are the ones who've already lost money because of that bad idea, and they just refuse to use stop losses anyway. That level of stupidity. Oh my god, someone explain it to me. I don't get it. Max leverage I use is 10 or 15. I look like a genius, thank you. I became pretty wealthy at a young age. What were the effects mentally? You know, felt like a king, got to my head, and then I was humbled, and then it just didn't get to my head too much. Stuff like that. Fairly standard. What should I do if I forgot to put... Yeah, so, look, practically speaking, if you forgot to put your stop loss in, put a stop loss in, and then don't forget next time. That it really is like saying I forgot to drive my seatbelt on. It's like saying I got out of bed, I put on my clothes, I went to work, I took a shower, and then I went to work, I got in the car, I came back from work, and I just realized I didn't brush my teeth. Like, what? How? I have an open long position with liquidation under support. Why do you guys gamble so much? I don't get it. If you're worried about closing it, like, why did you even open the position? You should already have a stop loss. I don't get it. I can't tell you what to do. And even if I could, I wouldn't. Like, some of you guys, you're making bad decisions. You just need to eat the loss and feel like an idiot. I swear, you just need to be humbled. And you need to realize how stupid some of your decisions are. I'm telling you straight right now. No one's going to tell you this. None of the other crypto YouTubers that love your feelings and want you to feel comfortable is going to tell you this, right? Some of you guys, you need to fuck up and you need to lose money. You need to eat shit, for lack of a better phrase. You need to feel terrible about it and then get it right the next time. I'm telling you straight right now. Maybe this doesn't apply to you, Stan. I'm sure your situation isn't that bad, but many of you guys are in situations that are that bad or worse, because I've spoken to many of you, and I know that it's only the ones with the balls to admit it publicly that would tell me in a live stream. You know, a lot of you guys, you just need to suffer the consequences of your bad ideas and then not get it wrong the next time. This is the only way it goes. I know this because I've been there, and I've been making the same bad decisions that I'm making fun out of right now. Peter, thanks for the live stream. Good as always to hear your TA. Thank you very much. How much to rent an apartment for FORFLIES? In Dubai, it ranges a lot. This is not a Balmain shirt. This is just a gym shirt. Please look at dominance. I don't want to look at dominance. What is dominance going to tell me? I don't know what I can tell you about dominance. Okay, it's falling off a cliff. It's at 50%, so it's alt season. What else can I say? It's not like I can do TA here. I mean, I guess I could, and it's had a little bit of support, so maybe Bitcoin dominance will bounce. But, you know, I mean, you don't really do TA on dominance. That's kind of weird in my opinion. That view is wonderful. Yes, it is, Ivan. It's a very, very nice view. Thanks for the analysis. You're the best. Thank you very much, CG. I'm glad you like it. As I say, I mean, this is very real. It's very unfiltered. Sensitive people will not like it. People who are destined to be successful at trading will like it, because this is exactly what you need in order to upgrade your game. If you do want to upgrade your game, then you won't care too much about your feelings or your emotions, and you're going to have a very brutally honest approach to this game with yourself, and that is going to be what elevates you in trading. So that's what this channel is about. It's not comfortable. This is real growth. What did you expect? Trading is not going to be easy, but with this realistic approach, we're accelerating that curve as much as possible. That's what this channel is about. So if that's what you're about as well, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you don't miss out on this content moving forward. If you'd rather listen to somebody tell you that all your investments are going to the moon, then you can find somebody else to appease those emotions for you. Ivan, I dropped out too, and now I'm getting a PhD. That's very cool. How did you manage that? Did you just go back to formal education after dropping out? If Bitcoin breaks down from the blue box, will it become bearish or will it have a chance to bounce? Harry, I think Bitcoin will become very bearish if it drops below the blue box right here. And the blue box, for those of you just tuning in, is between $50,000 to $52,000. Does it have a chance of bouncing back up? Of course, it still has a chance of bouncing back up. It always does. There's a lot of support in this area. A lot of support. It can bounce anywhere in this range with this massive one-day Ichimoku cloud. So that's worth keeping in mind. But for the most part, I wouldn't expect to bounce until we hit one of these two yellow lines. Why is my nickname FORFLIES? It's a boring long story, but I don't even know why, to be honest. I was just looking for a good name, and I was 14, and I figured that's a good name. Do you think I can come work for you? You know, we do hire. We've just hired like 3 new people. They don't know we've hired them yet. I don't think they know. I've got to check with my team, but we're just about to hire 3 new people. This team has grown so much over the past 2 years. My God, like it literally, I swear, it literally started off me in my bedroom in my mom's house. That's how this started off, and then we had one guy in England who was one of my high school friends, and I had to get rid of him because he wasn't working very well. And then we got another guy in another part of England, and now we've got like 2 or 3, I don't even remember. We got people all over Europe, got people in North America, people in Asia now. My God, it's a massive team. Very, very big team. As for new positions, if I'm looking for somebody, I will announce it in the free Telegram channel right here, top link. So this is the place to be for all updates, analysis, trading, and job positions, because we do expand the team fairly aggressively. We're not trying to rise like Rome, but we are trying to grow at a stable, safe rate. And so next time we are looking to bring someone new on, you can find out about that opening right here. How long do I think Ethereum will retrace before it going back up? So I said near the beginning of the live stream, hopefully just a few days would be enough. That wouldn't surprise me. It's just a few days. It should be enough, to be honest. I don't know, though. I couldn't tell you. I personally think that there's only so much Bitcoin can drop before it continues its bull run. Absolutely agree, man. Absolutely. View on the Pi cycle top. This crash happened after the cross, so it's quite ominous. It is a little bit ominous, Jay, but the thing is, ladies and gents, you know, when a market is gonna look, right, this is where we gotta dial up your attention again, because this is where I'm gonna drop some more wisdom right now. It's gonna get a little bit intense, but very, very important. So the thing is, market cycles like this, they do not end with things like Pi cycle tops generally. They will typically end with other signs that are a lot more recognizable. And I'm going to show you how right now. So take a look at this. I'm going to switch over to the daily time frame without any indicators, declutter the chart, and I want to show you one thing in particular, which was the top at $20,000. Bitcoin topped out at $20,000, and this is the way markets typically top out. Right, pay close attention to this because this is huge. No one's going to tell you this, but this is how market cycles end, and I'm going to tell you how to spot them, and then I'm going to tell you how it's why it's nearly impossible to spot them as well, but why I don't think we're in one right now. This is why I don't think the bull market is ending right now, because when the market cycle actually ended, we topped out at 20K, and then it took us 5 days to drop down by 42%. 5 days minus 42%. From there, very shortly afterwards, Bitcoin went up to 17K, right? So that was plus 55%. And from there, very short space of time, Bitcoin fell down. This was a month actually, it wasn't a short space of time. Bitcoin fell again by minus 66%. So Bitcoin fell by minus 42, up by plus 55, down by minus 66, sorry. So that's a lot of volatility to see inside of a month and a half. All of this happened inside of a month and a half. That's extreme volatility. This is how you know you're at the end of a market cycle, because there is what's called irrational exuberance. There's extreme volatility that we have not seen yet, right? Because if we put this in contrast to the market right now, right? Take a look at this. On the daily chart, same chart, and we compare it to what we're looking at right now. Let me show this to you real quick. Let me prove this point. So this on the left, this is 2017. This on the right, this is the present day. So we topped out. Within 5 days, we fell down by minus 42%. Bam, minus 42%. It says 7, but it was actually 5 days. Over here, we top out. Within 5 days, we're down by minus 21%. So this is not nearly as intense as last time. And I know that markets mature, and so the price action gets less extreme over time. Not to this extent. This is half of what we saw 4 years ago. You know, this volatility is way less intense than it was before. And then the subsequent massive bounce upwards. Now, obviously, we haven't seen that bounce upwards yet, but you know, if it were to bounce upwards, it can't bounce upwards by 66%. I'm sorry, 55% the way it did before. If it rises up to just below the previous all-time high, which is what happened over here, it was just below the previous all-time high, that might put us at, say, $60,000. And if we measure this up from 50,000 to 60,000 is only plus 20%. So again, it's nowhere near plus 55%. If we then drop lower, and we can drop very, very low, that's not the point, but if we then drop lower, we're looking at very, very big crashes here. But this is just not as volatile as we saw before. We can even compare it to what happened a little bit before if we take this brush tool once again, and we can see right here, so this dump right here, right? Let's take a look at this. So this dump, it sends Bitcoin down by minus 26%, and that's in a very short space of time, and then we're up by plus 43%, and then we're down by minus 20, and then we're up by plus 40, I'm guessing again, plus 30. So, you know, again, this volatility right here that we're seeing here, down, up, you know, this is not anywhere close to the volatility that we saw when the bull market actually ended. And that's how you know that the bull market is actually going to end. It's when we have that level of extreme price action in such a short space of time. We have not seen that yet. Right? We haven't seen something like that yet in this market. That level of extreme price action. That happens because people are going absolutely crazy with emotions, with fear, with uncertainty, with doubt, with excitement. People are going crazy. That's how these kind of bull markets tend to end. Doesn't mean that's how this is going to end. That's just how it tends to go. Typically, that's what usually happens. And we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen anything similar to that yet. And for that reason, I'm not worried about the pi cycle indicator. I think this, because this analysis I've just given you, this is analysis on psychology. This is psychological analysis. We're analyzing how haywire, how insane has the broad psychology of the market become. Clearly, it was extremely insane over here, not very much over here. This, in my opinion, is a much more reliable bit of analysis than a pi cycle death cross. That's my take on the pi cycle. Sure, it might be a little bit bad, but I think there's a much more reliable sign, a much more reliable way to analyze if a bull market is coming to an end, and it is looking at extreme volatility, which represents, you know, fireworks going off before a bull market ends, because that's typically how it goes, and we haven't seen that yet. And I also promise you the next thing I do is explain to you why it's so difficult to predict this. And the reason that it's so difficult to identify these things in this market is that what I've just described, is probably going to happen a few times, at least a few times in the market. We're probably going to see extreme price action like this quite a few times. And it's only the last time that will end the bull market. So we might see something like that volatility at 20K 2-3 times. And the first time, the market will recover and it will set new all-time highs. The second time it will recover. The third time it might recover. The fourth time might be the one that fails and that actually triggers the bear market. But the issue is you've built so much confidence from 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. You've built so much confidence because you thought number 1 would fail, but it didn't. You thought number 2 would fail, but it didn't. Then you started thinking, fuck it, okay, number 3 will not fail. And you were correct. So now you have a lot of confidence. And number 4 is what ruins you. That's how it goes in trading. That's why it's so hard to predict. And that's why I'm putting my hands up right now. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I'm telling you guys very clearly that I know I'm going to get it wrong. I know that I'm going to try to predict the top. And I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to get it wrong. And I'm going to eat a loss. I know it's going to happen. And I'm completely fine with that. I know that most likely I'm going to suffer at the end of this bull market a massive 30-40% loss until I realize that we're actually in a bear market, that I'm going to suffer a very, very big loss, and I'm completely fine with that, because if I've turned $1,000 into $20,000, falling back down to 12,000 is not so bad in my opinion. That's my take. Super realistic. Right? I'm not trying, because if I do try and predict where the top is going to be, I risk losing so much more. Not only do I risk losing money, I risk being out of the market and facing an opportunity cost, you know, which could be even worse. So yes, of course, it's going to hurt to lose 40% at the end when I'm going to be horribly wrong. It hurt last time, but overall I will be ahead, and it will be the only strategy financially that will be sound. There you go. If you've enjoyed that, you know what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. If you want to see how those amazing insights translate into trades, then once again, these steps on screen will take you right into the highly exclusive VIP group, where you can watch me trade with all the information on what I do. You can gain access to our educational courses with content just like that, just like this, very in-depth, without the BS, very realistic. If that kind of stuff interests you, then you know how to get in. Do I think a 4-hour bullish divergence might form with the RSI? Yeah, I think it already is forming. I spoke about a double bottom, but I only have it on Coinbase. Please check other exchanges. Yeah, but we're starting to get similar dips on other exchanges right now, so it's not a problem. Why is everyone asking about Bonfire all of a sudden? I've never heard of this. Do you think we'll ever see the 35k level? Yeah, sure, maybe. I don't know. It would make sense if we saw 35 again. Right, guys, I'm going to take a couple final questions and then head off. Once again, if you are looking for a platform to trade on, then Bybit is absolutely great in my opinion. One of the best places to be on. There's a link in the description for you to check it out, and you're going to get some free money to trade with when you make your first deposit as well. You get to keep the profits that you make with that free money, which is an extremely appealing offer. It's linked in the description for you to check out, along with the tutorial where I show you exactly how to use the exchange as well. So please do check that out if you are looking for a platform. And if you already have one, but you don't have a backup, then it's well worth having a backup as well, because your exchange can go down, it can get hacked at any time. And if you don't have a backup, you are not treating your money with the right respect that it deserves. Whether you use mine or not is not the point. You need backups if you're in this market. Bad things happen, and you won't expect them to, and that's not an excuse for not being prepared, especially when it only takes you about 30 seconds. Let's see what other questions we have in the comments today. I'm going to leave this information on screen for those of you who are reaching out. We've got some pretty cool offers available to you right now. So these steps on screen will show you how you can gain access to that. FORFLIES, how did I decide my Ichimoku settings? I didn't. Someone else told me to use them, and I've just been using them for years. Ivan is subscribing. Thank you very, very much for that. Channel has been blowing up. We're well on our way to 100,000 subscribers, so I'm excited for that. Hope you guys are too. It's been a long time in the coming, actually, in the making, and actually, this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but this YouTube channel is going to become 10 years old in 2 months, which literally means that I've been a YouTuber for more than half of my life. So that's interesting. Any altcoin recommendations? No, because I don't make recommendations and I don't like altcoins either. If we see a large Bitcoin to 40k, do I think Ethereum will follow? Yes, of course. If Ethereum drops, if Bitcoin drops, I think Ethereum will as well. Couple final questions and I will be heading off, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm not going to answer questions I've already answered now. Just we'll take a final few and then head off relatively soon. Thanks for this calming TA. You're very welcome, Suraj. Thank you for your great questions. Do you want me to take a look at Link? Let's see what's going on with Link. I'm pretty sure I can't say much about it. It's just not got a very clear trend from what I remember, but let me take a look anyway. It's in a bull flag. Oh no, it could be in a bear flag. I don't know. Nothing to say about Link. West London boy here. Nice one. Anyone else here from London? Krusty Koala, I've been watching you for a couple of days now. I'm super impressed and I've been learning a lot from you. Thank you very much for all your advice so far. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much as well, Krusty Koala. I'm glad. And shout out to you with your amazing name. I'm glad that you've enjoyed the content. Let me know if there's any way you think I can improve it. Always got ears to listen. Looks like Bybit does not accept US folks. Nowhere accepts US folks, but you will need a VPN. And as I said, no one has ever had an issue with that. We got East London, London, Netherlands. Cool, cool. A lot of people from London still watching this channel, huh? I miss London. It's been a while. Been a while. Haven't been there for a while. Alright guys, I'm going to be heading off. Thank you all for tuning in. One last look at BTC and make my comment. I don't need to, nothing has changed. What comment can I give you? Nothing has changed. Just rewind the live stream. Just bounced up from that area again. Hopefully we start rising up. That would be very healthy in my opinion. I would like to see that. Alright guys, I'm going to head off. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have enjoyed it, once more, one final time, please smash up those likes. We're at 800. Let's try and get it up to 1,000 right here on your way out. Come back to London. Lockdown is ending. I will be back in a few months. I'm enjoying freedom for a little bit longer. Anyway, you guys, thank you all. And I'll see you all in the next live stream.